Hey everybody, Kyle Sasser here, and it is everyone's favorite time of the month. That's right, market statistics time. These market statistics are for Pinellas County for the month of March 2023. So you're probably asking yourself, Kyle, we are in April. Why are we looking at March statistics? And the reason why is because it does take a while for all of those statistics to get compiled. I used to rely on the Florida Realtors to compile those. Unfortunately, those came in very late. So March statistics we would not usually get until the end of the month. So what I've been doing is I've actually been pulling these statistics and generating these reports on our own. It allows us to get these numbers together a lot quicker and in your hands literally weeks before they are released by the state real estate board. So if you would like a copy of these reports, you can follow the links down below. There's a place there where you can download the reports and have them in your hand as soon as possible. The other thing to know about these reports is that we are comparing year over year. We are not comparing month to month. So we are not comparing March 2023 to February 2023. We're actually comparing March 2023 to March 2022. The reason we do that is because the real estate cycle over the course of 12 months has a natural ebb and flow. Up north, obviously, fall is wintertime. Not a lot of houses get sold or listed for sale or purchased during the wintertime. Places with a little bit more sunshine, it tends to follow more of the school year. You do still have that drop in December and January. So by comparing March 2023 to March 2022, we can see how we are in the grand scheme of things. And real estate usually does not move fast enough to make that a problem. Notice I said usually. Recently, the market has been wild since the peak, which was roughly June, July 2022. And so the market has been bouncing around a lot more than usual. Previous years, it has been a very steady progression, some changes here and there, but by and large, had been mostly predictable. The last 8 months or so has been pretty wild. And I will get to those in a bit. But that's basically what these statistics are. We're comparing year over year, and download the report, links below. So everyone knows that the real estate market has been pretty hot. That kind of came to a close in June, July 2022. Later months of 2022, the real estate market really kind of hit the brakes. Primarily the number of buyers left the market. There was not very many people buying houses, which meant that inventory was able to build. We've had a little bit of a change here the last few months, which I will get to in the numbers here. We have had demand come back a bit, but we still have some concerning numbers that I can't say that we are out of the woods so far as prices and sellers go. There's a lot of stuff going on, basically. Total number of closed sales is down 10.4% from 1,190 homes to 1,066 homes. Number of cash sales is down 20.5% from 468 to 372. Median sales price and average sales price, thinking back to your math classes. So the average sales price is you take a number of houses, let's say 5, you add up the sales prices and you divide them by 5. That gives you the average. What the median sales price is, you take the total number of homes that had sold, and the median is basically the point at which there is an equal number of homes for sale at a higher price equal to the number of homes that sold below that price. So it is the midpoint of the market. Personally, I like the median sales price a little bit better. It usually does not swing as much as the average sales price, which average sales price can be affected if there's a large number of very expensive or inexpensive homes that sold at a particular point in time. Median sales price in Pinellas County was up 3% from $435,000 to $448,000. One thing I do want to do is kind of give you the month-to-month median sales price because it does kind of illustrate the trend of the market being very uncertain. Average sales price is down 0.9%. to $575,478. Total dollar volume is down 11.2% to a total of $613 million. Median percentage of original list price. So what this is whenever a house gets listed for sale, it is listed for sale at some price. What percentage of that original first listing price does the house eventually sell for? So March 2022, homes were selling for 101.6% of the original list price. So whatever list price you would list a house at, it would sell 1.6% above that, which is significant. But we've dropped 5.7% to 95.8% of original list price. Median time to contract, this is a pretty big change. So median time to contract is up 420% from 5 days to 26 days. Number of new pending sales is down 10.7% from 1,222 to 1,091. Total number of new listings is down 20.2% from 1,346 to 1,074. Active inventory is up 70.7% from 803 to 1371, and that is one of the major kind of flags that's that's getting waved, which again I'll get to in the explanation portion. Foreclosures and short sales, the doom and gloom numbers, again, those are still not showing up despite everyone who swore that it would once the moratoriums were lifted. So foreclosures and bank-owned properties, there was a 150% increase, which sounds terrible until you realize it went from 2 homes in the entire county to 5. And there's a grand total of 0 short sales in Pinellas County in March 2023. I don't usually touch on the general stats here, but I think it's important to do so you can kind of understand how wild the market's been the last few months. So this is going to be the median sales price. So this is the midpoint of the market. And then I'll give you my explanation for why I think it's doing what it's doing. So July 2022 was the peak at $450,000. August 2022, that dropped to $435,000. September went down to $428,000. October jumped $20,000 up to $440,000. November dropped $20,000 to $420,000. December climbed $17,000 to $437,500. January dropped $37,000 to $400,000. February climbed $30,000 again to $430,000. In March, it climbed another $18,000 to $448,000. So looking at these numbers, we are back to the peak 2022 numbers, June, July. What these numbers are hiding is the fact that we are still selling less houses than we are adding into inventory. We have had a surge of buyers come back to the market, which is why the prices have, so January median sales price was $400,000, February $430,000, March $448,000. So we're building the median sales price back. There's a lot of houses that are still haven't sold yet. If we go back to our previous page here, but we still have 1,371 homes for sale, and our month supply is growing. So we're still building inventory, which overall is a downward pressure on the market looking overall. Currently, anecdotally, things feel like we are relatively balanced. Our inventory numbers are holding relatively steady. Whenever, like all the offers that we've been submitting for our clients, we have usually, it's been about 50-50 with we're the only offer, and then the other half is, we're going up against, 1 or 2 other offers at most. It is nowhere near as crazy as it was last year. And I think there's a lot of stuff hiding in these sorts of statistics about that. You can also see that in the time to contract that has climbed from 5 days to 26 days. And what I've kind of been seeing is there's basically a split in the market. If you have like a great house that's in really good shape, usually that will go pretty quick, as long as it's priced right, of course. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days, 1 week or 2 weeks. And then there's another class of property that has basically been on the market for like 100 days or more. And the thing to remember with that is if these stats don't really get counted until that property sells. So one other thing I do like to do is break this down by price category, because a $1 million house sells on a little bit different time frame than a $300,000 house. Just the work, the marketing, and all that stuff is almost identical, to be honest. But the buyer pool from $1 million plus homes is a lot smaller than it is for $300,000 homes. Total number of closed sales by sales price. 150,000 and under. There was a total of 5 houses in the entire county that sold in March 2023. There is not much under that 150 mark. 150,000 to 200,000, there was a total of 17. 200,000 to 250,000, there's a total of 40, which is a reduction of 18.4%. 250 to 300,000 was down 21.0%, total of 79. 300,000, that's when you start seeing, relatively big numbers. $300 to $400,000 was down 8.3%, total of 289. 400 to 600,000 was down 7.4%, total of 352. 600,000 to $1 million was down 6.9%. Total of 189, and $1 million or more, down 5.6% for a total of 101. This lines up with our overall statistics of fewer homes selling, and you can see that that is true across the board. Median time to contract is basically through the roof on every price category. There is no price category that has a less time to contract than March 2022. And that makes sense because March 2022 was absolute pandemonium. Time to contract in March 2022 was about 5 or 6 days. Time to contract currently, unless you're under 150,000 or over $1 million, you're hanging right around 25 to 30 days. But again, that is the average. So there's a lot of houses that are taking longer. And there are also a lot of houses that are selling that are going under contract in 1 to 2 weeks. Total number of new listings by list price. Everything is down except, interestingly, 150 or under, which saw a pretty significant jump in listings, and the 1 million or more, which is actually also up. 50 to 100,000, there was a total of 2, which doubled last year's stats. 100 to 150, there was a total of 16 new listings, also doubled from last year. $150 to $200,000 though was down 4.8%, total of 20. 200 to 250,000 was down 47.1%, total of 27. 250 to 300,000 was down 44.2% to 63, and you can see that's 63 homes in the entire county. 300 and under, there is not a whole lot to choose from. 300 to 400,000, total of 244 homes were new listings, which was 25% fewer homes. 400 to 600,000 was a 22.7% drop, total of 331. And I don't usually read all these, I just realized, so I am not going to do the rest of these. I usually do the inventory, the total inventory, because that's the important part. New listing by price category usually isn't that interesting. But I would like to point out that we listed 1,074 homes for sale in March, and we only sold 1,066. So it is a small fraction, but we still built. We still built inventory. Moving on to the last field here, we have total inventory by current price, which is the one I really should have gone through and read instead of the new listing price. 100 to 150,000, there was 62.5% fewer homes at total of 3. 150 to 200,000, there was 79.3% fewer, total of 6. 200 to 250,000, there was 46.7% fewer homes, total of 16. 250 to 300,000 held steady at 56. 300 to 400,000 increased 67.8%, total of 245. 400 to 600 was up 60% to 343. 600 to $1 million, there was over double as many homes for sale, 109.9%, total of 298. And $1 million or more was up 139.9%, total of 403. So them's the stats for Pinellas County. All right, so let's jump into some of the hows and whys of this. So interest rates have been up. They have come down significantly from the top. So they peaked at like high 6s, low 7s. Currently they're down high 5s to like mid 6%. When compared to 2.5%, that sounds absolutely terrible. The problem is that 2% interest rate is the outlier. If you look at the 20-year history of interest, well, 23 years now. If you look at the 23-year history of interest rates, you will see that the interest rates usually bounces around between 4 and 7%. So we are very much in line with mortgage rates from the year 2000 to now. And if you want to get really crazy, you can go even further back and it gets up to like 13, 14% back in the 80s. Definitely some trade-offs. Houses were a lot cheaper back in the 80s. So that's one reason why they were so high. Basically, people have kind of figured out that this is going to be the new normal for a while. People still need to move for jobs, move for, school, move just to make positive life changes. So even in the dark ages, 2007 to 2011, still plenty of houses getting sold. It all depends on the amount of demand and the amount of supply. What we're seeing in the market here currently is we are still building inventory. That usually means it should be downward pressure on prices. That said, Tampa Bay is in a bit of a unique position because it is now on the world stage. So compared to a lot of other locations across the country that are holding relatively steady, we can see, especially in the Pinellas County numbers, that there is a lot of stuff going on. And even anecdotally, my buyers, I was begging people to look at homes and buy homes in September, October, November, December. Literally, we could negotiate just ridiculous price reductions and repair requests. Hadn't had multiple offer situation in months and was routinely negotiating like $10,000 to $20,000 off the asking price. Nowadays, not so much, especially on homes that have only been on the market for a couple days. I'm still able to get the repairs and a couple other concessions and stuff, but you can feel the competition and other buyers kind of coming back into the market is the best way to describe it. But that said, there's not enough demand to be driving these price increases, at least on the Pinellas County side. Hillsboro's been holding steady. So my read on this situation is that the market has basically separated. So there's a class of property that goes under contract quick, and there's a class of property that is just hanging around. The properties that are hanging around, those stats do not get counted in the median sales price, time to contract, percent of original list price. Like, the stats only get counted when the property actually sells. There's a lot of stuff that's been expiring, canceled, or has just been holding at a price, hoping that the market comes back. I don't believe there's enough demand to put us back into the madness that was March, April, May, June of 2022. It's not currently shaping up that way. The indicators at that point was shrinking inventory, and we're still building inventory each and every month. But it's close. And honestly, if interest rates go down solidly into like the fives, I think we could very much get back to a pure seller's market. Buyers just are not going to have as much negotiating power. Conversely, if interest rates go up, that's going to constrain buyer demand and prices will come down. There's a lot of uncertainty, a lot of complaining, a lot of just issues out there currently that it's not clear, which is unusual because for 7 years it has been extremely clear, which is prices are going up, fewer and fewer homes for sale. Like, that has been the trend for years. Fellow realtors, y'all have been going a little nuts out there too. It's just freaking out about, a market, the real estate market does change. And there's going to be different circumstances and, all that stuff. There's no clear change other than currently we are having a month or two of increased demand. We will see if it holds. I'm actually really interested to see what the April statistics look like. But I am hesitant to wave a flag in either direction. And I know overall consumer sentiment is that prices should come down. Prices should come down, rents should come down. The trick though is that a lot of times people say one thing, but their actions do another. So if people say, hey, prices should come down, but everyone starts buying, it doesn't really matter what the words that were said are. You always have to go off of actions, not words. That's my interpretation of the stats. I know not really giving you a lot of clarity. That is going to be pretty much true of the market at large. Now, individual neighborhoods and price points and condition and listings and all that stuff, like that is very, very, very clear. But when we're talking just overall general trend, that's why there's a lot of conflicting signals going on right now. So thank you so much for tuning in today. My name is Kyle Sasser. I am the team leader of Ashler Home Team. If you would like to get in contact with me and maybe need some help finding a house or selling a house, we would be absolutely thrilled to help you out. Best way to get started is to book a call with me. That link is down below, ashlerre.com/book-a-call if you would like to read the subtitles on that. But I'll put a link down below and just to make that easy for you. You can also email me, Kyle, K-Y-L-E, at ashler, ashlerre.com. And yeah, would love to help you out. Our motto is the way real estate should be. Everything we do is with the goal of living up to that motto. We would love to share with you what the way real estate should be means. Please don't hesitate to reach out, leave a comment, book a phone call, whatever you want to do. Anyway, thanks again for tuning in. I'm Kyle Sasser, and I'll talk to you soon.